What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. I do uploads on this channel every day. Thank you for joining. We have important breaking news right now. Potential threats. National terrorism alert. This happened here. I'm recording this on August 14th. This alert came out on August 13th. Potential terror threats include domestic terror threats right now include opposition to COVID measures? What? So you're saying this man right here, a fire captain in Honolulu, is a threat to our national security?
I spent the last 20 years of my life and 37 years watching my dad do this job. And because I didn't want to put an experimental drug in my body, I got to give that all up. I got to choose between my personal freedom and I'm talking not just talking about me, but people who are first responders like me, who love our jobs, who love the people of Honolulu so much. We leave our families every day willing to sacrifice our lives for them. That's how much we love this city and the people of this city. I leave my family every day knowing I may not come home. And I gladly do it with a smile on my face because that's who I am. That's who every one of us is. Every firefighter, every policeman, every paramedic, every EMT, every lifeguard. We run in when everybody's running out. We jump in front of the bullets when they're being fired. We swim into the 40-foot waves. And I have to choose between that career that I've committed to or putting an experimental drug that I don't know what it's going to do to me in my body, or I got to give all that up.
That moment you realize those in charge never cared about you. Now, for you out there who might say, well, this is nonsense. Don't say that. This is to protect all of us. This is because those in charge care for us. You're wrong. The government wants to protect us. If the government cared about that gentleman right there, that fire captain, they would say, we disagree. We have facts to prove that this is a good procedure, that we think it will help you if you take it, but we respect your position and we wish you the best. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. If the government really cared, they wouldn't say, you get fired, we support you getting fired, and kick rocks. It is out loud and out in the open right now, not to be debated. These are chess moves that many people, including myself, months ago, were talking about this, where it goes. Who's a terrorist? Who's violent? It's easy to twist these words around to, oh, you don't want to do this, then you're putting my life in danger, so now you're violent. Or you don't want to do what the government says, now you're a terrorist threat. It's that simple, and it's out there in the open. It's on the DHS website. So this is not some screenshot only type of thing. It's right there out in the open. And you would think probably there would be some actual plots behind this that are motivating them to say, hey, no, we're monitoring things and we're seeing plots of stuff that shouldn't be going on. Nope. According to NBC, there's nothing. We're just saying it.
Pete, what do we know about this?
Well, DHS says this new terrorism advisory is not based on any actual threats or plots, but it says there's a rise in anti-government rhetoric. Well, DHS says this new terrorism advisory is not based on any actual threats or plots, but it says there's a rise in anti-government rhetoric. Well, DHS says this new terrorism advisory is not based on any actual threats or plots, but it says there's a rise in anti-government rhetoric.
Now, bringing some levity to the situation was, of course, Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee created a list of a couple other signs that you might be on the Department of Homeland Security's terror threat list. A couple things including married with kids, works a normal job, just a normal dude. Didn't like Captain Marvel, doesn't like taxes. This isn't even outrageous enough to be funny. I think you probably would be. Finds Kamala Harris slightly off-putting, owns a Bible, shops at Walmart, watched YouTube anytime prior to 2015. That was a smart one. YouTube was a lot different back then, for those who don't know. Doesn't triple mask, wears New Balances. When you say, I hate Trump, they just laugh nervously and say, yeah, he's pretty crazy. Because people are afraid, including myself, to say, I don't hate Trump, even though I didn't vote for him. Homeschooled, doesn't swoon and scream with delight every time they hear the name Obama. So I'm glad that Babylon B can bring some levity to the situation, but now is not the time, seriously, to be quiet. Matt Walsh recently got up as a parent and spoke out at a school board meeting.
Hi, my name is Matt Walsh. I'm a community member in Nashville and a father of 4. You and the school board have decided that our kids should go to school all day, every day, wearing muzzles like rabid dogs. I have listened to your arguments, and I've noticed that they're missing a few things, namely evidence, data, science, common sense, and basic human decency.
Much respect to Matt Walsh. But rising up and speaking to me is not enough. What are you saying? And I don't, as eloquent, as great as Matt Walsh is, that's not the message that we need right now. The obvious choice, the obvious thing that we need to, this is where I'm coming from, that we need to talk about is liberty. And I'm going to talk about the Libertarian Party again. They have the obvious answer. And did you see Jack the other day? He tweeted a link, that was the whole tweet, to the book Anatomy of the State by Murray Rothbard. That is unbelievable. That's the author that Comic Dave Smith has put me on to that talks about libertarianism. And let me read you a quote real quick. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Rothbard writes, of all the numerous forms that governments have taken over the centuries, of all the concepts and institutions that have been tried, none has succeeded in keeping the state in check. The problem of the state is evidently as far from solution as ever. Guys, the state has no real substance to it. It's just a collection of people. People are self-serving. I've called them the most self-serving, aspirational sleazebags on the face of this earth. And I've called for all of them in Congress to be removed, even the ones that I agree with at times and like. I don't know what happened with Jack, and I think what happened with Twitter was well out of Jack's control. So maybe he has libertarianism in him, and he just lost control of Twitter. Because he doesn't own much of it now. He is not a power mover in Twitter. He doesn't own anywhere near a majority stake. The nightmare that they don't want us to see behind the curtain, the reason why they're saying opposition to this makes you a national threat, is because every single day we're finding out, we're getting closer and closer to finding out maybe we don't need you, government. Maybe we don't need you. This is an idea that I would have been like, what are you talking about just 18 months ago? But every day it's getting closer and closer to that. I talked about Ancapistan in a recent video and people grouping together, potentially getting their own crowdsourced private security. Well, there's businesses now in Portland that are hiring their own private security. Why does that make people so excited that are libertarians? Because it's proof. It's competition to the state. Anything the same thing that's happening with police could happen with education. It can happen with trash services. It can happen with anything. And the more and more that happens, the more and more it makes these politicians that enact this garbage less relevant. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.
You better costume now, can dry how much I've been lied to. Lights out like your eyes blue, put the sleepers inside. Looks like you lost some parasites, probably never had it. Now you suffer from frostbite in the Cold War without a jacket. Back to ice cold, dripping wings, all vultures. And cop hell, y'all the pigs we hold roast with. All I call a place home that wasn't corroded till it dawned on me that we had rats and roaches. Fly behind enemy lines, I'm dying inside. Why am I sick to my stomach? But I try to get my mind right, fix the twilight, slip the highlight. like realer the demise of a time that you thrived in hindsight. Skywalk, I have a hawk in the skies in New York like it's Gotham. Good cop, bad cop, got problems. And that's the game y'all play. Remember, surrender to Satan when the flame starts praying. These are the life and time stuffing these pipes with bombs. Give me the mic, it's mine. I got the antidote. Putting my life on line. Too many nights I cried. These are the dusted dimes. We got the antidote. These are the life and time stuffing these pipes with bombs. Give me the mic, it's mine. I got the antidote. Putting my life on line. Too many nights I cried. These are the dusted dimes. We got the antidote. We keep it moving 360 vision and need the confusion. The city walk, listen, talk to the rhythm. The sin and we weather and venom. Kill them down, molotovs. My jaws a rifle to offer cycle that's never ending. My vigilant call for sinners Semitic. Assuming the timid is more human than forever being doomed for sin. And I never did it. Ain't seeing 100 from all I done. And death is imminent. I'm going out gunning. Don't run from anything. Plenty made character actors rapping and chatty blame. Petty scenes. Scared to get clapped up as the machete swings. Everything prepared for disaster. And bomber lace with a psychotic nature from smearing rappers and solid pavement. Racing selly strings. Wearing your gadgets. They used to fool us. Police and trackers. New Bluetooth computers and easy pass. Blazing jelly grains. Staring and laughter can get you banished to hell. Me and my Delphi see you there in the after. These are the life and time stuffing these pipes with rhymes. Give me the mic, it's mine. I got the antidote. Putting my life on line. Too many nights I cried. These are the dusted dimes. We got the antidote. These are the life and time stuffing these pipes with rhymes. Give me the mic, it's mine. I got the antidote. Putting my life on line. Too many nights I cried. These are the dusted dimes. We got the antidote. Underground underdog, tame the dizzle for sizzle. The boom squistle, the fizzle, popping shit like I'm Mr. Wiggles. Lock shit down like bike chains. I write things, it's quite strange. Biting, watch your life change. Let me get this off my chest like lung